start with this because the more we hear about KOTESOL, the more we have to ask ourselves the same question. Are we reinventing the wheel? Have we ever invented the wheel? Will we ever get it right? We hear it every year. 3, 2. So what is the history of KOTESOL? Well, there's still some discussion of what it is and what it isn't and how it started. And you know, there weren't any historians around at the time, and the people who were around didn't keep very careful notes. But what we can say is there were two founding organizations, that somehow merged or kind of merged. We had groups that came in. That led to KOTESOL as we know it today. And I like to think of it as a tree. We've got chapters and SIGs. We've got national and international conferences, publications. We do advocacy, we do media, we do social engagement. But is it a federation? Is it unity? Who's the roots? Founding organizations. 5 chapters exist today that were our founders. Seoul, Daejeon, Jeonju, Daegu, Busan. And there was a Gyeongju chapter that's no longer here. I'll let you see the rest. Anybody recognize these? Yeah. From 1994 to this year, all the conference posters. We don't have posters for 92 and 93. I don't know why. We've never found them. In the same way, logos for KOTESOL. The one at the top left was our first poster logo in 1994, and it's actually a borrowing from TESOL International. And then just roll across KoreaTESOL, adding the website, KoreaTESOL, adding Korean. On the bottom are 2 additional themes we've used. And next we come to publications, which I, as a founder of the modern publications, like to think of as the face of KOTESOL, if that's no longer true. Tech, from bottom right to left, from original to later. KoreaTESOL Journal, and at the top right, the proceedings. But what is an image of an organization if it's not just publications? Well, maybe it's the website. We don't have pictures of the original website or even later editions. They just don't render nicely. Technology has changed so much. What we do know is that we're doing lots of webcasts. This is our modern face of KOTESOL, the website and the web. Lots of discussion in the past 2 years about constitutional changes. What are some of our changes? Well, the membership year has changed. Online voting has been created and removed and recreated. A general manager was added and removed. Policies for impeachment, a 2-year presidency, lots of things have changed. But here's my theme. You know, the old story of the square peg in the round hole. You know, how do we fit KOTESOL to match our volunteers? Let's stop talking about job descriptions. Let's start talking about tasks to be done and talents of people. The leadership retreat has a long history. 25 to 55 attendees, what we perceive to be current and future leaders, talk about budgets and plans, do a little orientation and training. It's overnight, but it's not ritzy. And we have our first National Council meeting. We want to invite you all to come. Come join us in our fun and games. KOTESOL has always been contentious. And people don't understand this. Wait a second, we're all teachers. We're used to having our way with our students. Yeah, students, okay. And, you know, many of us are expats. We're independent, but we are collegial. We are friends. Conference attendance. Hard to explain. Pack 2, lots of attendance. But other than that, IMF really affected us. We lost a lot. But now we're up to 1,500. In the same way, a picture can say a lot. The red writing at the bottom, the boxes, in the early years, membership and conference attendance were tied. If you came to the conference, you became a member. And in 2000, I can't explain that. You were not required to be a member. It was in Daegu. Conference attendance was down that year, but membership was up. KOTESOL budgets. This is the projection each year, the beginning of the year budget. How much money do we expect to get? How much money do we expect to spend? You see, we're trying to spend the money. But for some reason, we have more money in the bank today than 10 years ago. expertise. Up to 1999, we had lots of visiting scholars that really contributed to KOTESOL. They gave us knowledge. Now we have lots of MA programs. Now we see more and more KOTESOL members are becoming the source to help other newer teacher organizations. KOTESOL made a book. Did you know that? We sold it to a publisher. The publisher went bankrupt. It never got to press. At the same time, at that same conference, we created what is today known as KTT. And we're winding down to the end of our history. Let's look at special interest groups. They have come and gone, but it is one of the key roles for KOTESOL to help people focus on their interest areas. I want to encourage everyone for the future to think about, what do you like? What are you interested in? How can you help other people grow in a special interest? One of the last key points is what we call a central office. KOTESOL had one once upon a time. Back in IMF, when we lost money, we lost our central office. It had a half-time staff. It was a place to keep books. It was a place to have a few meetings. It was a place for a fax machine. Yes, a fax machine. And the post office box. But now that's gone. So over the last 19 years, we have a chance to look at some things we've done. We have a chance to see who we can help in the future. And what I want to encourage for everyone in KOTESOL is, remember the wheel. We have it, and let's improve it, please.